What's up, guys? Dark Cosmic here for another astrology video. This time we're talking about the Capricorn ascendant. Okay, so if you have Capricorn in the first house, this means that you also have Sagittarius in your 12th house. So Sagittarius is the zodiac sign that is more about a carefree, positive, happy-go-lucky personality. It's all about being up and not being down. So that can lead to a lot of not really rose-colored glasses, but just like a sort of optimistic personality where you always just think everything will be all right because of your attitude and how you're going to approach things in life. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes, and I'm explaining the Sagittarius aspect because that's what's in your 12th house, and it's going to come full circle. So it's like right now you are in the Capricorn energy in your first house as your personality. I always like to say it's almost like in a past life you was dealing with Sagittarius energies, and now you came and you want to deal with more Capricorn energies. Some people say they say the 7th house is really your past life. To me, whatever, call it whatever you want. They can say that's the 7th house, but to me, I just like to use the 12th house because it's your subconscious, so it's the aspect of you that you're not aware of. So I like to use that instead of the 7th house. But hey, it is what it is. This is just my take on the ascendant. So anyway, that being said, having Sagittarius in the 12th house, you're very happy-go-lucky. Subconsciously, you are well, let's just go back to the first house. Sorry. So because of that subconscious nature, now in the first house, your personality might be very serious. So your personality is like, you know that subconsciously you're super happy-go-lucky and super carefree, and that kind of scares you. So you find ways to make yourself more serious and more presentable, more, stable, and more like you try to present yourself to be taken seriously as well. You like to be taken seriously. Your personality, you try to come off in a way where people will take you seriously. You want to be taken seriously, so your personality comes off like that. Your personality comes off as a little reserved. In your personal life, people probably find you to be really reserved, or if not reserved, very businesslike overall, and very definitely not very emotional at all. Or you can be very emotional, kind of like Cancer, because the opposite signs tend to do this thing where they show the qualities of like a Virgo can be very dreamy like a Pisces. Aquarius can be very self-centered like a Leo. It just depends, because it's two sides of the same coin. So it's still an aspect of you, it's just a side you neglect. So some Capricorn ascendants actually might be very moody like a Cancer ascendant, and some of them might not. So it depends on which one you are. So are you the moody one, but it's rare. The moody ones are rare, but they are there. So and especially the moon sign extra, and all the other stuff that can affect that. But so your personality is more than likely just really serious, really reserved, business oriented. And that's how you dress, that's how you talk, and that's what people think of when they first see you. They think, they don't think they can crack a joke and that you would laugh. They, they hesitate to approach you sometimes because they don't know if you're in a good mood. So let's move on to the second house. In the second house, which is all about your survival, it's all about growth, and I'd say a little bit like nourishment as well. Second house, you have Aquarius, so you're very logical when it comes to your survival skills. You're very logical when it comes to that, and you're very unique. So you might find You might find a lot of ways to make money to survive. You might find a lot of creative, unique, different ways to find nourishment in your life. You might have like a creative business that brings in money for you, so that when you do go to work, this business is also making money because you're just that creative, or you're just that unique. You find different ways, because you know in life that you can't just have one form of income. So so just in order to survive in this world, you have to be very unique and you have to be very original. So you find logical, unique ways to make that money so you can survive. And so you have a very good understanding of what it takes to survive in this world, and you're fixated on it. You're really focused on that too. You never lose focus on your survival skills. You always make sure that shit's on point. And you've got a lot of ideas too. You probably have a lot of business ideas, a lot of ways in order for you to never ever be in a situation where you're completely broke. So let's see, your third house is Pisces, sorry. So with Pisces in the third house, you in your neighborhood, your surroundings, and even when dealing with your siblings, you probably came off as a very dreamy person. See, here we go again in the subconscious type of aspect of yourself. Just like I said, Sagittarius, you had Sagittarius in the 12th house, which subconsciously you're kind of happy-go-lucky. See, now you have Pisces in the third house, which now that kind of makes you like, or in your surroundings, your neighborhood. So this is kind of like, again, your subconscious nature, the part of you that you're not always trying to put on the front. Because when you're in your surroundings, you're not always trying to put on the front, because you kind of eventually kind of give that up, and your real self kind of slowly creeps out. It might not be your fully real self, but it's an aspect of you. So instead, you choose to show the Pisces energy, which is just happy. It's not happy-go-lucky, but kind of really caring, really spiritual, a little bit of an airhead. You try to loosen up the reins a little bit of the amount of control, because Capricorn's ascendant is really controlled. So here in this aspect of your life, you try to loosen up the reins when it comes to like your siblings. You might be very just really kind of an airhead, kind of just silly and fun with them, and dreamy with them, and creative with them. You try to bring that, or really spiritual with them. You probably take your siblings to church, or you take them to the temple, or take them to go meditate, whatever it is. You have some aspect of escapism and creativity in terms of your surroundings. You probably like to go to church all the time. You probably like to go, I don't know if you like to go do yoga all the time. You have some kind of spiritual activity that you like to do, and it's kind of like it's really close to your home, and you're always doing it. And you may involve your younger siblings with this as well, or you can be a part of a spiritual business as well, which doesn't make sense. Might not make sense, but here, let me explain. Like, you might have like you might sell something for your church. You might be the yoga class teacher. You might, in some way, you're finding a way to sell spirituality, or you might be on YouTube making videos on tarot or whatever. In some way you're trying to sell spirituality, or in some way you're trying to get the word out about it. You're trying to spread information and tell people more about spirituality. And so you have Aries in the fourth house. So in the fourth house, people, it's in your home. In your home life, people probably perceive you to be very selfish and self-centered. Although you have those aspects of you that aren't like that. In the home, you try to be really selfish, because you don't want to connect too much to all that, soft, icky, gooey stuff. So people would probably see you as selfish because of that. You don't really want to engage in too many of those emotions. You want to keep everything light and straight to the point as to what it is. You tell people what it is, and that's just that. You know, you don't really you don't like to dwell on things. You don't like to get too moody about stuff. Even if you get mad, it doesn't last very long. If you get mad with a family member, it's not going to last very long. You just want to get over it, because to you, emotions are not to be dwelled upon. It's just something to just move on and get over it. And also the reason why you're like that in the fourth house is because there's an aspect of you that's very self-preservative. You're very self-preservative. You don't want to ever be in a situation where you don't have something that you need for your nourishment. That goes back to the second house having Aquarius, that you find all these unique ways to make sure that you're safe and that you got your money is right. So that's why you're so selfish in the fourth house, because that's the part of all your weak points, all the parts of you that's self-preservative in Capricorn is gonna make you super selfish, like, because you really don't want to be broke. Like, you really don't want to be broke ever. Never be broke. You have this sense of, because Saturn brings that sense of, I cannot be broke. I have to be stable. So that's like a hell no for you. So that's why you have an aspect of you that's like that. But you can also, you might, even though you might come off as selfish, they still think you're fun. They still think you're high energy. They still think, you know, your family members probably still think you're very high energy and still fun and all that. But in terms of how you engage with them, maybe you're a little bossy too. What else? Aries is a masculine energy, so your father might be a very, very important figure, role in your life here, having Aries there. Real authoritarian. Your father might have been really selfish as well. So let's go to the fifth house. So fifth house for Capricorn ascendant, you have Taurus. So when it comes to your entertainment and this thing, your stuff that you like, romance and all that, children, whatever. Having children, whatever. What entertains you are the finer things in life. You don't like to if you're a girl, a guy can't take you on a date to McDonald's. Like, you gotta take it to a 5-star restaurant. You ain't gonna think that's cute. That's gonna be super lame. That's not even gonna be funny to you. It's gonna be disrespectful. You're very, in that way, you're kind of selfish, and you're kind of snobbish in that way too. Snobbish, what does that mean? I don't know if the people don't know that word. It's kind of like you kind of like you think less of somebody if they do that. You know, like, you kind of like, you're too good for that shit. In your head, you're too good for that. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you got to know your worth, but you ain't going for that. So to you, what entertains you, the way to romance you is to you know, give you the finer things in life. Show you, you know, be very attentive, be very what's the word, because Taurus like to touch, touch things. They like to grab things, you know. That's what gets you in the mood. That's what, you know, being very touchy feely, but not in like an emotional way, kind of like a sensual way, and just the finer things, like going, you like to wine and dine, you like to that's what entertains you, going shopping, going, you know, being able to spend the money that you work so tirelessly on, and you know, treat yourself right. Buy that gold chain, buy that grill, buy that diamond ring, buy that BMW, seeing that in your parking lot. The finer things in life, getting that house, going to eat that beautiful dinner that was prepared by that 5-star restaurant and that top chef. That's what's entertaining to you. That's what you want to spend your money on. And the person, the individual in your life that's romantic partner, they got to be into that stuff. If they're not into that stuff, you're not going to find them very attractive. And you also want that for your kids, because the fifth house is about the children too. So when it comes to your children, you're gonna want that for you want the finer things in life for your kids as well. You want your kids to be able to go to the best schools. You want your kids to be able to eat the best foods, the healthiest foods in the fridge, have the cleanest shoes, just swagged out. Kids are swagged out. Look at my kids. Look at his sneakers. He's dope. Like, look at my kids' pants, jeans, everything. Look, my kids leave the house, they looking fresh, they looking clean. And nobody's gonna ever say my kids is looking some kind of way. My kids are gonna look great when they leave the house. That's a Capricorn. That's what Taurus in the fifth house is about. The finer things in life, and that's what brings you entertainment, and that's what you love. So let's move to the sixth house. So sixth house, you have Gemini. So when it comes to your daily routines, you are people perceive you to be very knowledgeable. It's your work and your daily routines. So when you're in work, when you're at work, people perceive you to be a very knowledgeable individual. Probably a know-it-all as well. You're very fast-paced. You catch on to things really quick. And you have a lot of talents. That goes back to the second house again with Aquarius. Why do you have all these talents? Because you're trying to find all these ways to make money. So you're very skillful in the workplace, and people perceive you like that. Like, man, this person's good at a lot of things because you're trying to make that money. You don't care. You're like, I have to make this money, so I got to be good at a lot of things. I have to find unique ways. I have to be all over the place because I got to make this money. So you at work, you finding ways to be the boss. The code, like, if, like, let's say you owned let's say you were like you owned a McDonald's or whatever, you're gonna know how to use the register, flip the burgers, be the manager. You're gonna know all these positions. You're gonna know how to do all of it because you want to be able to make this money no matter what. So you're gonna know the business inside out, and you're gonna be able to tell people how to do their work. People also probably, with the Gemini in the sixth house, people perceive you as a very, your mood you're not too moody. When you're at work, you're actually in your space. You're really happy, you're childlike, you're kind of playful. You're playful and everything. You work hard, but you're playful still. Like, you don't look like the type of person that you hate work. You go to work, you're not there to be all moping, I gotta go to work. You know what I'm saying? And if you are, it's just because you're not at the job that you like. You're not at the place that you need to be. So you just find a job that you like, and I guarantee you're going to be a really happy person there. Because Capricorns like to work. Gemini energy in the sixth house is not a mopey energy to be in the sixth house. It's like, and that's a Mercury house as well. So you in work, that's your place. That's your that's home for you. So because Capricorns like to work because they like to get this money. You're gonna hear "get this money" a lot in this video. All right, so let's see. Cancer in the seventh house. So with Cancer in the seventh house, ironically, although I said what romances you is the finer things, the individual that knows how to take care of you, that's connected to that, but they can't be on this super like crazy emotional shit, but on like there's an aspect of that you're gonna really like. I'm not gonna lie, because you lack that, because you avoid it so much. So when you do see an emotional person, but you see that they're very caring and nurturing at the same time, you might fall for that real easy. Because you're gonna be like, man, they're so emotional and all that, but man, they know how to bake and cook and they clean the house so good. Oh my gosh, everything is so clean. Look at my car, this and that. I'm talking from a guy's perspective. So I guess from a girl's perspective, it's like, man, this guy is kind of moody, but he makes sure my car is clean. You know what I'm saying? He makes sure I get my nails done. He pays for all that. Makes sure I'm real pampered all the time. That'd be like that Cancer pampering energy. But even though he's kind of moody, whatever, you make fun of him for that, but he takes care of you though. So the person that takes care of you is who you're gonna fall in love with. Or the people that take care of you. When you see somebody takes care of you, you're gonna want to work with them. If you feel like somebody's not taking care of you, you're not gonna want to make a partnership with them. If you feel like somebody's trying to get over on you all the time and don't give a fuck about your survival or your well-being, you're not gonna want to fuck with them. You're not even going to even dabble in that because it's very important. So that's what a good partner to you would be, and a good relationship partner would be as well. Let's see what else. Cancer in the 7th house. What else is there? I think that's it. Yeah, so let's go to Leo in the 8th house. So with Leo in the 8th house for the Capricorn ascendant, you're very passionate when it comes to sex. So all that reserved stuff, when it comes to sex, it just leaves the window, I guess. It goes out the window. You love sex. You love it a lot. You're very passionate about the sex. You're very fixated on the sex. You probably have sexual addictions. It's a very euphoric experience for you. It's a very romantic experience for you. And you like to keep that side of you hidden. You like to keep that expressive ass side of you hidden. Like the Capricorn ascendant people, they super cool exterior, this and that, but when they get in the bed, oh man, they're putting on a show for you. Putting on a show. And you would never expect it from these people because the way they dress up. And it's because all that reserved energy you guys are keeping, man, it makes you real freaks or something, man. It's making you real like dramatic. You want to just express all that in that aspect of your life, and it's real private. So you're super romantic when it comes to that aspect of your life, super passionate. But it's just in that section though, like, and that's the reason why you're there. You do it in that aspect because it's the only place you feel safe to do it. It's like when you close the door, you and your lover. Yeah, this is when I'll show you that passion and all that. But I won't be asking me for all that in the other aspects of my life. All right. After that, I'm button up. Don't be trying to lean, kiss it. No. In the bed, let's get it. So and not just that, let's see what else, because the 8th house is not just about sex. It's about life and death. It's about transformation. It's about other people's possessions. So life and death, these things really affect you, but you try to not let them get you down, though. You try to not think too much about life and death situations. You try to just stay up for the most part, and you fixated on keeping your mental stability. You're happy. You're fixated on not letting these things bring you down. And even if something happens bad, you always try to find a way to keep yourself stable. So like Leo in the 8th house, you have a really stable emotional nature. You don't like anything to rock the boat. No matter what, I will rise. That's kind of like the point of a Capricorn. Capricorn's having Leo in the 8th house. Like, no matter what, I will rise. No matter what happens. But you make sure that all your ducks in a row. But even no matter what, even if something happened, even if something bad happened, I will rise. No matter what. So you're very motivated when it comes to like life and death situations and transformative situations. Oh yeah, sex can transform you. Sex can really transform you here. It can be a very passionate experience, and it can really transform you. What else? When it comes to other people's possessions, you might be Leo energy. Let's see. You might just like to give a lot to your children, or your father can be the one that gives you a lot of things. Like your father gave you. Oh, I got like a scar on my hand, but I don't know what the hell cut me. If something cut me, but anyway, your father might give you like be the one to leave you in their will. If they die, they leave you in their will. They leave a whole bunch of possessions, and it's a big thing. It's a big deal though. Or they just provide you. Your father might give you something that is just like a real big deal, real dramatic. Like, hey son, hey daughter, I've been saving up, and I got this for you. And you're just completely surprised that they were even planning that. So let's see, let's move to the 9th house. So in the night with Virgo you got Virgo in the 9th house. So Virgo energy is very logical, very practical, and this and that. And in the 9th house is like Sagittarius territory, so that's kind of clash there. So the good thing is, when it comes to your wisdom and your philosophy and your higher learning, you like to practice what you preach, and you like to have a strong routine when it comes to these things. You might travel a lot, and that might be a routine of yours, is to travel. Like, let's say, like, you know how people do landscaping, they travel all the time, or maybe you take a lot of flights, but it's all to do with work. You don't be just traveling to not make money. When you travel, you gotta make this money. All right, so you gotta get this money. So that'd be saying that, but that just is what it is. Capricorn ascendant is is the GOAT. It's just like, I'm trying to be the greatest of all time. I'm trying to get this money. So you travel, but it's for a purposeful reason, and so there's an aspect of you that probably people perceive that's just like you lack depth, and you're so businesslike and almost cutthroat, and you can even come off as judgy to people, like, because like you can be judgy in terms of, like, somebody that doesn't have a degree, you're very judgy when it comes to that. Somebody didn't get out of high school or whatever, you're very judgy. Or somebody doesn't go to church, you're very judgy. So watch out for that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't all got to be the same. We ain't all perfect. And not just that, we ain't all got to live up to the ideals that you have so strictly placed upon yourself. So be careful with that, because you might get into fights. But let's see, Libra in the 10th house. With Libra in the 10th house, this is actually a good placement for Libra. This is the best placement for Libra. Libra is Saturn, planet Saturn, which rules Capricorn, which is all about work. It's all about control. It's all about duties and obligations. So having Libra in the 10th house here, it makes you very, very willing and accepting to these duties and obligations. You don't fight it, you don't fuss it, you just know it is what it is, and you do what needs to be done, because that's just what it is. So when it comes to your status, people perceive you to be like a very likable person, because you always do what needs to be done, and you make sure that everybody's happy. You're kind of a people pleaser. Probably kiss ass a lot. I just gotta keep it real, guys. And people love you because of it. Look, the reality is, guys. The reality is, we don't live in a world. Idealistically, you would want to not have to do that shit, but the reality is, in this system, you gotta be well liked in order to succeed, because people that hate you are gonna find ways to fuck your shit up. So Capricorn ascendants, they find a way to be well liked so they can rise to the top. Why? Because they gotta get this money. All right, so you guys are gonna keep laughing. This video, some of you guys are like, I ain't trying to get this money. Well, you're trying to in some way establish yourself to where you don't have to ever find it difficult to survive. Basically, you got to get this money. So so here you make sure you're well liked, so that you have all these connections, so that you never ever find yourself in a place where you can't get this money. But this is a good thing and a bad thing, because people probably perceive you as a pushover. Like, look, Joe over there. Talking about Joe. Joe got a Capricorn ascendant. Joe over there always brings the boss coffee. He's such an ass kisser. People probably talk behind your back, man. People probably think you're real lame for doing that, but they probably broke as fuck, right? Capricorn ascendant. So let them hate. So that's the good and the bad thing. You could be in a higher position because of that. At the same time, watch out, because people probably, because you do that, you try to stick to the books a lot too. So you might find it really difficult to get off on people. Meaning you might karma for you is super fast. So when you try to cheat people, that shit gonna come back to you, because you got Libra in the 10th house. So your pristine ass image, man, if you ever do something wrong, be careful. Be careful. It'll be bad, man. You don't have that sign that's really good at getting away with shit. If you had Scorpio there in the 10th house, you get away with a lot of shit. You have Libra there, so it's not that easy, man. It's about justice. So you try to do things right, and because of that, there's an aspect of you succeeding, because if you lean more towards making people happy and kissing ass, you're gonna succeed. If you lean more towards doing everything by the book all the time, you're gonna find some aspects where you're always failing, because you're gonna see people always getting over on you. Sorry, I keep saying get off, but getting over on you and succeeding over you, because you're so by the books. Like, you try to do all the right things, and everybody's fucking cheating. So it's like, and you don't have the guts to do it. So, because of this image you've held up. So it's hard for you to even do that, right? And all these other people, they've been getting that shit. I'm like, I ain't keeping this image, bitch. I'm stealing. I don't care. I'm stepping on this person. So that's where you might find a pitfall with having Libra in the 10th house, is that you're going to see, because although Saturn is exalted in Libra, in the times and days we live in now, it's so cutthroat that actually might be a hindrance for you. Or it might not. It depends on how you use it. I would play with that Libra energy. I'm not saying you have to kiss ass and that. I'm just trying to be as kind of honest as I can with it, and that's what it is. So if you're offended, I'm not sorry. I'm just saying that is what it is, because Libra is a very people-pleasing sign, and a politically correct sign. So in a way, you're appealing to the masses. You're appealing to what people like. So you're kind of kissing ass. So, but again, let the haters hate, right? You're in a position and they're not. They didn't want to do that. So it is what it is. You're the one with the BMW in your parking lot. You're the one with the fancy house. You're the one where your kids are well fed and go to the best schools, this and that. So it's a give and take, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that person hating on you, isn't like, they could be just a lazy ass motherfucker. Let me stop cursing in this video, but they could just be super lazy. So forget them. So Scorpio in the 11th house. So with Scorpio in the 11th house, your best friends might be Scorpios. When it comes to groups and organizations, you might be a part of some secret groups here. You might be a part of some secret groups or secret clubs. You might be a part of clubs that like to do a lot of investigations, clubs that like to do a lot of deep research. These are the things that you like, and these are the things that you like to join, because you like to learn a lot. You like to know a lot of things. You find power in that. So that's what and people that are like that, you become fast friends with them. People that want power and want knowledge, deep knowledge about things, so that they can implement it to gain power and rise to the top or something, whatever. So Sagittarius 12th house, like I already explained that, happy-go-lucky, subconscious. You don't like to have a chaotic mind. Try to stay happy-go-lucky. You're very spiritually, subconsciously. You're very wise, subconsciously. And that's it. Like, you like to read a lot of books. You have a lot of information and wisdom within you. But this is my Capricorn ascendant video. I hope you enjoyed it. See ya.